Less than 2 weeks to the draft. The Eagles, Sal Paolantonio, ESPN's national NFL reporter, here, thanks to the Griner team, Burger Realty, Johnny G, and the boys, has Sal Pal here on a Friday before the draft. By this time next week, when we speak, it will be the day after. We will have the first-round pick. No, actually, no. I'm jumping ahead of myself here, Sal Pal. Man, we wanted to get here so bad, I'm jumping ahead of myself. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. I was like, gosh, I don't think so. But let me check my calendar because Mike Gill 2 weeks away. But thanks to Johnny G and the Griner team at Burger Realty in Ocean City, and I can't wait to get down to the boardwalk and hang out with you guys. But thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. And all right, we got a lot here. I mean, reports today that the Eagles want to jump back into the top 10. I mean, we all know Howie. That's what he wants to do. But is that the move that makes the most sense? You're sitting at 12. You moved back to get there. You added an extra pick. If they're able to jump back into 10 with that first-round pick from next year, do you give Howie a high five?
Well, they have the most to deal with in this draft. They've got 11 picks available, more than any other team. So they have a lot of draft capital, and it all depends on who drops down in the top 10. Now, I think, going from 6 to 12 was a mistake. I said that last time. I said to you, they need blue chip players. They need to stockpile blue chip players. That's how you win Super Bowls. That's how Andy Reid built the Kansas City Chiefs. You got to have the Travis Kelce's, the Tyreek Hills, Patrick Mahomes, and those kinds of people. Certainly, the Bucks. If there's one lesson from Super Bowl 55, is you've got to protect the quarterback. And the Bucks protected Tom Brady, and the Chiefs did not. And the drafting of Tristan Wirfs was a really smart thing by the Bucks. They knew they had the quarterback. They just needed to protect them. So you got to have blue chip players. You got to stockpile them up and down your lineup on both sides of the football. And when you're talking blue chip, it's hard to really get blue chip out of the top 10. And I wanted them to stay at number 6. So now they're at 12. And if they jump back to 10, that to me would be a good thing depending on what they're trying to do. So what they're trying to do is obviously get ahead of the Cowboys at 10, right, Mike?
Yep, no question about that.
Okay. They don't want to be behind the Cowboys for the second straight year. They lost out on CeeDee Lamb last year. And to me, this team, if they're going to be picking in the 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 spot, because they're not going to really be able to, I don't think, to jump up beyond 8, they've got to go for the best corner available. And I've said this a lot, and I believe it. I think this team right now can make the most noise defensively immediately just by playing differently, giving up less points on the back end, being smarter and more careful on the back end, closing off the end zone and not giving up big plays. Right now, that's the most impact that they can have, and they can do that with somebody obviously opposite Darius Slay.
I like the corner idea as well. I feel like you just said it. Slay is there. They got nobody else, Sal. I think if you said, I want to be in the mix for corner, you'd have just as good a shot. They got nobody out there. Corner is the most glaring need on this team. I mean, I don't see anything that's even close to that, but I guess wide receiver in this particular draft, because of the talent, has to be considered, correct?
Well, of course it does, but let's talk turkey. They want to move ahead of the Cowboys. I think that Patrick Surtain, the second out of Alabama, is the best plug-in-play defensive player in this draft. And if you have an opportunity to go get him, then you have to do that, because the Cowboys, from every mock draft and everything I'm hearing out of Dallas, they're going to take Surtain at number 10. Mm-hmm. So you'll have to get ahead of the Giants, who obviously will go linebacker, I would imagine, or pass rusher at 11. And you have to go ahead of the Cowboys, who need defensive help. They gave up a franchise record number of points last year. They've got Dak Prescott back. They're loaded up financially and with talent offensively. They got to get that defense better for Dan Quinn, their new defensive coordinator, and they feel like they can steal the division. Am I correct?
Oh, absolutely. You're getting Dak Prescott back. Your defense was a mess, and you get a defensive player at 10. And Prescott, I would imagine they're the favorites, no?
All right, so let's go through it. We still got 2 weeks, but I like the latest mock draft out of CBS.com, out of my guy Pete Prisco and his colleague Josh Edwards. I think they do a wonderful job of not only fitting players in who everybody thinks is going to go to that team, but also projecting possible trades. And they're not really, pie in the sky stuff. So Lawrence goes 1. The Jets will take Zach Wilson. I believe the Niners have had a change of heart and will take Justin Fields.
Agree.
And then at 4, that means the Falcons have to make a decision. Somebody is going to want to go up to 4 and pick either Mac Jones or Trey Lance. The Falcons will have that pick, a for sale sign on that pick. And if the Falcons are smart, and Arthur Smith is their new head coach, and Arthur Smith ran a run-heavy offense, heavy offensive line, extra offensive linemen, 2 backs on the field, 2 tight ends. To me, Arthur Smith convinces that front office, listen, we're going to go 1 more year with Matt Ryan, and we're going to trade the pick. And who is ever at number 4 is either going to take Trey Lance or Mac Jones, and I think it's the Broncos that are going to move up and take Trey Lance. I think Lance is perfect for Denver. And then I think the Bengals will take Penei Sewell. And at 6, the pick the Eagles should have had, and the player that should be playing at Lincoln Financial Field will be picked by the Dolphins, Kyle Pitts, at number 6.
That is the player that I had the most interest in at number 6, and it would be tough to see that be the pick that goes in that spot. I liked him a lot. I think he's a difference-making. I don't know. He's not a tight end. He's a weapon. He's just an offensive weapon, right?
He's a total outlier. They now have this term unicorn. I don't like it. I think he is just a multi-dimensional player that you can line up at the X in the Eagles offense. There are so many teams using motion now. Motion is being used because to counterbalance the amount of blitzing being done. I said last week on your show, and I'll say it again. Last year was the highest percentage of blitzes thrown at quarterbacks in 5 years in the NFL. And the way to keep the blitz from just teeing off on your quarterback is to use motion and pre-snap movement. And Pitts would have been perfect for that, especially with an offensive line that has been killed with injuries and gave up 65 sacks last year in Philadelphia. He would have been perfect. I think it was a mistake to move out. I understand they picked up an extra first-round pick next year. But again, I'm not looking for value. I'm looking for players, blue-chip players who would have been difference makers, and Pitts is it. Then I got the Patriots moving up to 7 and taking Mac Jones.
Patriots getting that quarterback, yeah. And look, they've done everything this offseason but get a quarterback, really. I mean, I know they brought back Newton, but they got to get somebody else.
Yeah, it's the Saban-Belichick connection. You bring in Mac Jones there. I think it's a mistake. I don't think the Patriots should do that. I'm not that enamored with Mac Jones that he would be taken there and you would groom him as the next quarterback. Now, I get it. People have questions about him. I don't have a question about him. I just don't think he's a value at that spot for the New England Patriots. To me, the way you've bulked up through free agency and you're bringing players back coming from COVID, I think the Patriots can win the division without putting all of that draft capital at the 7th pick in a quarterback. So now we know that those Panthers at 8 are going with Darnold, and they wind up getting the best possible wide receiver. So if you're the Panthers, you're not moving out of 8. You have a chance to take Jamar Chase. You're taking him, aren't you, when you get Darnold in there?
Well, if he's there at 8, yeah, you're doing backflips.
You're doing backflips, Mike Gill, if he's there at 8. So now, where do the Eagles? So now the Falcons are at 9 with this scenario, and the Falcons want to bulk up their O-line to help Matt Ryan and to run the kind of offense that Arthur Smith wants to run. Right?
Yep.
They're taking Rashawn Slater.
I was say, so Slater would be that spot, although do they feel they can move back and take Slater and move back again? Is that someone that Philly calls and says, hey, I know what you want. You want to flip with us?
Correct. You are correct. That's the spot where the Eagles can move because they figure the Falcons are figuring, okay, well, we know the Eagles are going to take Surtain or Waddle. They're going to go either wide receiver or corner. And I think if they're going at 9, they're taking the corner. So then at 10, the Cowboys are now stuck. They're either with the top corner or they got to move, right? And the Giants are going to go defense. They need pass rush so bad. So at 12, if the Falcons swap and go down to 12, they can still get Slater.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. You mentioned quarterback trade-ups. What about Washington football team? Are they a candidate in your mind? They got a good defense. Their line's pretty decent. Their weapons are but are they a team that could be not getting a lot? I know that people have talked about them, but could they jump into that top 10?
You know, they could, but I don't think that they will. They realized they won the division last year with a terrific defensive effort, and they got enough out of the quarterback position through the veteran Alex Smith,
right,
that maybe they can get enough with Ryan Fitzpatrick if they just give him a little bit of help.
So let's go back to where we were. You had Philly then jumping up to 9, and that is to
I
get.
think that's the spot, right? That
spot.
has to be the spot.
And they go to 9 for the wideout or a corner. You like corner.
I think they have to go for the corner because the only reason to go up to 9
is to take them from Dallas.
Is to take them from Dallas.
Yeah. Look, if you think that, I don't have a problem. What do you give up for that? Third round? You go from 12 to 9. What are you giving up?
Yeah. So I think it's a third round gets it done for sure. But, all the talk today about them moving back into the top 10, to me, that's the spot where they move. Because, unless they feel like they have to go to 7.
Yeah. And 7, at 7 is Detroit, by the way, for people out there.
Right. 7 is Detroit. Detroit is going to be have a for sale sign on their pick, too. The Falcons and the Lions both will have a for sale sign on their picks. Those are the pivot points now. If it goes Lawrence, Wilson, Fields, Lance, right?
Yep.
If it goes that way.
I can't wait for it. There's so much conversation. Being stuck at 12 is just like this because it feels like the draft is about 12. Now, we have somebody watching the show on our video stream who brought up a very interesting possibility that I don't even think I thought of yet, but I'll throw it your way. I know we're short on time here, but the first 11 picks, 4 quarterbacks, the 3 wide receivers. So that's 7. That's Chase, Waddle, and Smith. And then Pitts, Sewell, Horn, Surtain. That's the worst-case scenario right there. Then what's left for the Eagles at 12? That's a tough spot.
So you're saying that
this was from a listener, yeah.
This is a listener who is suggesting that the Eagles are stuck at 12.
Yep.
And at 12, they have a choice between Pitts.
No. You're stuck at 12, and off the board are the 4 quarterbacks, the top 3 wide receivers, Pitts, Sewell, Horn, and Surtain. They're all gone. That's 11. Now you're up at 12. You haven't traded up, and assuming that no one wants to trade into your spot, and now you're at 12, and the 4 quarterbacks are gone, the 3 wideouts are gone, Pitts, Sewell, Horn, and Surtain. They're all gone.
I think that's the worst possible scenario because, in my view, that listener, very astute question, terrific question, hit the nail on the head. That means, to me, that person just named all of the blue chippers in this draft.
Yeah.
To me.
Yep. And you know what?
That's how I have it ranked.
I would
and
say
that's how a lot of people have it ranked.
I know
for sure.
And I saw that. And I said, "Wow! If that scenario comes up, what are you left with? Mike apart? Does Howie Roseman and the Eagles take a linebacker?"
No. I think they desperately try to trade out, and they find a way. To me, listen, if there's one lesson, I'll say it again, from Super Bowl 55, it is that the Bucs protected Tom Brady, and the Chiefs did not protect Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
And in this league, you must now protect the quarterback because of the amount of blitzing that is being done. And the Eagles gave up 65 sacks. It's one of the main reasons why Carson Wentz is in Indianapolis. There are many others, but it's one of the main reasons why. And if they want to give this young man, Jalen Hurts, any kind of a chance to succeed, they must figure out who is going to play left tackle and right guard on this football team. And until they do that, they're going to have a problem.
All right, good stuff. Draft 2 weeks away. Sal Pal Friday here on the Sports Best. Johnny G, the Grinder Realty team at Berger. Fantastic stuff as always. Those guys are great. Sal Pal, that was one of the more fun, spirited conversations we've had. I love this kind of stuff. Let's get this baby going.
Oh, yeah, it's great. That was smart. Listen, shameless plug, but I know you're a big fan of the NFL Matchup Show, and my partners, Greg Cosell and Matt Bowen, nobody does a better job of film breakdown. We have the 5th straight season, Mike Gill, of the NFL Matchup Special Edition Draft shows on Wednesday of next week on ESPN2. Check your local listings. We're taping it at NFL Films on Wednesday. Draft special number 1 for the NFL Matchup Show, and then the following week, 2 days before the draft special number 2. But draft special number 1 is Wednesday in prime time.
I love it.
On ESPN2, brother.
That answers some questions for me. I got a nice email today from the good people at ESPN for Sal Pal's availability on Wednesday and Tuesday. I said, I don't need your availability. I got Sal Pal every Friday.
You got me on the bat phone, baby, anytime you want on the Mike Gill Show. Thanks to Johnny G and the Grinder team at Berger Realty, baby. All right, I got to go. I love you, Mike Gill. Thanks a lot, brother.
All right, Sal Paolantonio here on a Sal Pal Friday here on the Sports Bash Live on 97.3 ESPN. Sal likes them trading up to 9 because the Falcons trade out of 4. There was a lot going on there.